We're here with Liesse Thibeault, a Budtender from Canna in Biddeford. Thank you so much for joining us today.
I'm excited. It's really fun.
So could you just tell me a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I'm a former landscaper and botanist and horticulturist, a former social worker that got involved in the marijuana industry because I worked with kids with seizure disorder and autism. And I was sick of passing pills to kids that really didn't work, that destroyed their quality of life. I saw Dr. Sulak speak, and I said, I'm going to work for that guy. I applied 5 times, I didn't get a job, and I just kept applying every time I saw an opening, and I finally got hired. I worked for him for about 3 years in his medical office in Falmouth, Maine. And then I left there and went and worked for the MMCM, which is the Medical Marijuana Caregivers of Maine, a lobbying group up in Augusta. And transitioned from there to working at the dispensary in Biddeford, and I love it. I love my boss. It's a great place. We have an awesome little community there, and it's been a really good education about marijuana in the last 5 years.
Absolutely. So, you've kind of been through all aspects.
Well, I wanted to learn as much as I could about everything that I could about what was going on in this industry. I just felt like it was an important piece. I worked in administration and in social services, and saw that there were possibilities for people to transition from, I don't want to say straight jobs because that's really, ish.
Right.
It's kind of very, of the high times sort of thing, which I try to avoid that vibe to some degree. But I saw openings and possibilities, and it's been the best job that I've had. I moved back from California in 2004. This is one of the best jobs that I've had since I moved back, and I see huge possibility in the industry.
So tell me what it's like a daily day in the life of a Budtender.
Well, we're sort of an eclectic group of people down there, and we range in age from, I think the oldest person that works there is 60, and the youngest is in their, early 20s. So we have a bunch of different experience. We have private rooms that people can go in. I actually work in what they call the fast lane, which is sort of like the drive-through window of bud tending. More like a traditional dispensary, like Wellness Connection. They have just big open counters. My little room is like that. I run the store, and I do all the buying for the paraphernalia, for all the little gewgaws that people might need, papers, etc. I see tons and tons of patients on the weekly. A lot of them are repeat and regular customers, or who have been customers since they first opened in 2010, 11, something like that. Great bunch of people. It's definitely a wide variety of people. I think if anybody walked into the dispensary and sat there for an hour, they'd realize that it's virtually like sitting for an hour in Walgreens, that it's the same demographic. It's anybody that needs medicine, and there's a lot of people coming to this who they're desperate, and it's sort of a last ditch for them, and they're really finding that it works. And more people, I would say over 65 is the largest growing population of people that are coming to use marijuana. Most of them who have never used it before. What works for me will never work for you or her or him.
You have to kind of tailor it to yourself.
Exactly, and it's a real experiment, but I think it also empowers people to take control of their own health instead of having God, the doctor, tell them take this.
Every 4 to 6 hours, take this.
And, a lot of people come in very scared, thinking, oh my God, I'm going to be high. And it's like, oh, it's terrible. But then I say, well, what are you taking for medications? And they tell me, oh, benzodiazepines. They tell me painkillers, this. And I say to them, I am never going to be as high as you are right now taking those medications. You don't know you're high anymore. You are high 24 hours a day. My high comes up and down. I can really gauge it. It's much more fluid, where you just don't know anymore that you're high, because it's a different, they're using like circumstances that are old news about marijuana. The reefer madness is what they really envision, a lot of them. And when they find out it's so much more gentle than taking OxyContin, they're going, what was I thinking? And I've had some pretty interesting patients come through and some pretty difficult cases. And, overall, there are very few people that it doesn't work for in some way or another, and maybe in surprising ways that they didn't expect.
So could you tell me about your proudest accomplishment in the cannabis industry?
I don't know. I mean, I took a leap of faith getting into this in the first place, and I think that a lot of people wouldn't because they're afraid of destroying their careers, whatever that is, in 2016. And it's very different than what it looked like in 1950. So to me, it's sort of a logical step from the social services, the botany and the horticulture, to sort of combining the two of them. And I think just maybe that's what it is just taking the chance. Taking the chance, I think, is probably my most proud accomplishment in this business. And plus, I get to meet all kinds of really cool people. And
well, it's so great to talk to somebody that loves their job as much as you.
It.
So thank you so much for talking with us.
Thank you.